All right, good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Andre Sanders here. Andre Sanders, my bad, down here in Jacksonville, Florida, of Overcoming the Odds, or as you see right here on Facebook, Online Strategist. Either or, the same thing. Just want to get right into this topic for today, as far as the role that social media plays. It can play for business, any type of business. And let's just be honest with ourselves now. We are in the information age. So it's something that I know listening to a lot of different entrepreneurs, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you're pretty much going to get left behind. So if you're somebody who's, again, in any type of business, this is something to just really take heed with as far as some of the statistics that we have here on that we pulled up. Like I said, a couple of my business partners right now are, let's see, one of them will be coming out here shortly. Other one's out of town, and Julianne. But shout out to Julianne because she had some good posts here on her wall the other week. And I just thought it was something that should be shared. Again, if you're a business owner, I think this is really, really important for any type of business, anything that you're promoting. We've all come, like Julianne, Patricia, and I, we've all been a home-based business for a while. Whether it be online or offline, again, this is something that really take heed in. Here's something that I can say, but I can say you can go follow Julianne on Facebook because she had these statistics. I think is really important. So let's just get to this social media in general. I don't know the name of this particular company, but I think if I read this correctly, B2B rates social media as the second most important factor, 64%, and search behind only strong content, which is 82%. So, assuming like anything as far as strong content, mean like blogs, or maybe if you're on somebody's email list or videos, things such as that. But think about it. Listen to that. Social media is alone 64%. Again, this is according to, like I said, reading this particular company, B2B. I don't know what that is. So, just if you do, just comment below if you know exactly what that company is. Like I said, didn't get a chance to find out, look into that company. But it rates social media is at 64%. Again, as far as second most important factor in search. And you got to think about it too, in a sense though, like since I'm an 80s baby, any generation, such as my own and younger, we are on social media like crazy. We know, like, perfect example, you're watching this here on Facebook, which is like right now the top dog when it comes to social media. No disrespect to the other social media platforms. There are tons of them. Google Plus, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, list goes on and on and on and on. Tumblr. But the thing is too, there's so many on here that you can just pretty much just take advantage of, and a lot of people go to that as a source because, oh, by the way, even though I can just mention as far as the statistics talking about 82% as strong content, also too, there is some good content on social media, depending on who you're following. You see what I'm saying? To give it that value, of course, you're going to follow them. Even if they're, let's say comedians who want to be comical or just have a strong following, and it's kind of something that interests you, you're going to follow them. You see what I'm saying? That is their own content. You see what I'm saying? Let's get to the next point here on here. Let's see. One third of global B2B buyers use social media to engage with their vendors, and 75% expect to use social media in future purchases processed. That is also true. Oh, by the way, I know here, especially in the home-based business profession, and I know when I first got started 7 years ago, I had some top leaders that said that you can't build this business online. Times have changed. It's funny that you said that because my first person I ever sponsored in the network marketing profession, home-based business profession, was here online, and it was on Facebook. we just messaged each other, connected, and the rest is history. So times are changing, and again, like I said, it's interesting with that. When they says 1/3 of global B2B buyers. I don't know. Like I said, not too sure as far as where this is exactly. But it's something, again, just throwing out these statistics as far as not so much the statistics part, but what's possible. That's the one thing to keep in mind when I'm reading out this information. Keep in mind as far as what's possible, what's possible out there for you. You know, as far as, you know, just getting maybe this, not even so much a piece, just get it in the middle of it. And, you know, we can talk about, you know, your target market and everything, but we're not going to get all into that. The main part here, and more importantly, is just to realize, again, like I just said a few moments ago, what's possible out there. Another thing, 77% of buyers say they are more likely to buy from a company whose CEO uses social media. So if you have promote anything online, you are at a good spot, especially using social media. I know Gary Vaynerchuk, he's really been big on this here the last few years as far as the importance of social media for any type of business owner. It doesn't even matter if you're a traditional business owner. Not saying you have to use social media as your primary source. Not saying you have to have a blog. Not saying you have to have an autoresponder, autoresponder. I'm not saying you have to shoot videos, but to just take advantage of these tools, so you can have them in your toolbox, so you can do what you can, so you can continue to increase your resources. To expand your resources. This is the reason why I'm sharing all this information, because people tend not to really think about this in the positive aspect, especially if they promote anything online, because a lot of people like to see the negativity. I don't want to say they like to see that. They see the negativity. They don't see like the positive aspect as far as what can help you promoting yourself first and foremost. It's not even so much whatever it is you promote, whatever you own. It's just really about getting you out there and just continue this to build that rapport, so people can get a chance to just know, like, and trust you more. You see what I'm saying? So again, keep that in mind, because like I said, these numbers are really staggering too, and really important. Now let's get into as far as why it does matter for people in business in general. So, and also going to this chart, and again, follow Julianne, because she has this on her page though. So shout out to her, even though she's not here. She's not going to be with us today, because this is just really big time important. 60 to 80% of a person's decision, talking and still in the B2B space, are made through online research before contacting the company. Listen to a podcast from Robert Kiyosaki about a couple weeks ago, and it was again somebody who was an 80s baby, and he brought up the same type of statistics as far as our generation. If you're an 80s baby, or somebody's an 80s baby, I don't know. I forgot what generation that is exactly. But the thing is, we are more likely to, still talking about 80s baby, we are more likely to go and research something online, even social media, before get in contact with somebody that we do know, like, and trust. It's not something, we'll be quick to go on, let's say, I don't even say Facebook. I can say go on Google, or maybe even go to LinkedIn or Twitter, wherever information that you see. We're more likely to go there on the social media platform to find out more about it. And, speaking from experience, I have done so myself. Like, if I want to look into a restaurant, this is looking the inside. I have gone to like Facebook before, or Instagram, just to find out more about it. I don't really pay too much to reviews, because, you got to make your own educated, your own educated, I don't want to say guess. You got to be educated in that sense, as far as, take your own take into it. Make sure that you do your own research into it, other than just taking somebody who might have a quick negative response to it. You see what I'm saying? In that aspect. Here's another thing. This is pretty cool as well. 92% of people delete emails and voicemails from people they don't know. Go back to what I just mentioned earlier, as far as people will rather go follow people that they know, like, and trust. I just talking with somebody who was in the same business as I was here just a few minutes ago, and we were talking briefly as far as when you're building content. Going back to that same particular point, as far as content, when you're giving out content, you're giving out value, and your target market, those people are always going to come back to you. You might not have an email list. That's fine. That's fine. But people are going to continue to come to you because of the value that you give. I've seen this too. This little briefly too. Let's say on LinkedIn or Twitter. This information I like to share because I like to share personal development information as far as the stuff I'm reading, stuff I'm listening to. Just people of success, and I've seen people that are much bigger following. Huge email lists. Give out the value. Some people get podcasts. Like, perfect example, entrepreneur Tim Ferriss has a podcast. And people go to that like crazy. It's his podcast. I mentioned Robert Kiyosaki's podcast, where it's Rich Dad Radio Show. It is a podcast as well. The list goes on and on. Eric Thomas, hip hop preacher, he has one as well. He also has a huge following as well. Gary Vaynerchuk is another one. See, you see what I'm saying? The list goes on and on and on. But when people don't like and trust you, they're going to want to know more information as far as, okay, what it is that you're sharing. So isn't that interesting that 92% of people will delete emails and voicemails from people they don't know? Even going back to some of these phone companies as well, people will still pick up, but that's a whole other skill, a whole other topic for itself as far as building rapport with people. That still works. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about bashing on the phone, because especially if you're in a home-based business professional offline and you're still making those calls, people are still pick up, even if you're like it's a cold call to you, but you can still work to build a rapport with them while in the middle of the call. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say that percentage is high for people that are going to buy from you or join you. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's not like that low as far as people are not going to want to say or have anything to do with you. That's my point. Something in that sense. So something to keep in mind as well. But going back to that point, as far as the percentage, that is true, by the way. You don't have a rapport whatsoever, people are not going to follow you whatsoever. This is common sense. See, so now here's another interesting thing that's very interesting. 90% of corporations, like 500 Fortune 500 companies, use a major social media platform. And something that I was on a conference about a few years ago, they are hiring people to, these big companies are hiring people as far as, setting up their social media, for the social media accounts, just so they can reach more potential buyers. Big time companies are hiring people to do that because they don't know. So if you're in the online world as far as home-based business, you're in a good spot, especially you are, continue to give out value, doing things the right way. Even if you are giving that value to your own email list, to your following throughout social media, you're in a good market too. And by the way, that's where the jobs are going these days. When people are wondering like, oh man, where the jobs are going to, since we are in the information age, jobs are going to things such as that. What does that mean? Now learn how to pick up a new skill. So I don't know if traditional school is teaching that or not, but if not, it's missing maybe a good market right there as far as to help promote different things or help big time companies promote things online. And they have sent people on like big, on different conferences to do such that, to go and pretty much send people to learn how to, kind of connect with people, which is pretty cool through social media. I've seen this because I know some people. I know some people that work in the area that go to these like weekend things just so they can learn how to use social media. It's almost like if you're again, online world of home-based business, it'll be elementary to you. But again, big time companies are paying, and those are jobs now as far as to help them, use social media. Now, let me continue to go on as far as that. 77% of buyers are more likely to buy from a company if the CEO uses social media. So even if you're a small business owner, hey, the potential's out there. Like I mentioned earlier, as far as when you want to be in that percentage, as far as getting a hold, just be in the middle of that, as far as, just using social media, this to get the name out there. I've seen this really a lot of CrossFit gyms because I go to CrossFit gym, been doing so for almost 6 years now. And I see a lot of them, besides the gym that I go to, they use social media as well. They don't really use it too much. They just like as far as showing the exercises, maybe like different transformations. And it's pretty cool because a lot of the CrossFit gyms do that as well. Besides, to say, posting some of the lifts of the exercise they do, and you see this big time as well, especially on Instagram. A lot of gyms throughout the country, really throughout the world, and still talking about CrossFit gyms, have really been getting a good rep because of what's been going on, because of also promoting Olympic weightlifting. Olympic weightlifting has really gotten big as well because of CrossFit, and that's the main reason I know. I've always been been going to CrossFit gyms because it got platforms. I've been doing Olympic weightlifting for years. So again, that's just once you have some type of social media platform, like I said, people will be more, will be kind of interested. They're just curious. I don't want to say they're interested. They're just curious to see what it is that you're up to. Now, again, the reason why I'm sharing all this is for those that have the arms crossed and like, oh, I choose not to use social media, whatever. Oh, well, you're missing a big picture. And however you're marketing, like I said, not saying that what you're doing to market is not going to work, but like I said, why not go and leverage why not go leverage more of your time to just continue to expand your resources, to continue to get more people to see what it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're promoting, or whether it's selling or whatever. And now let's get to another point. 53% of the B2B buyers follow social media discussions about vendors they are considering, such as they read the comments. This is a perfect example. You're on YouTube, say you want to watch a movie. You go below the video, you see all the comments from people with all types of opinions. And, what we want to call today is the critic. I know, listen to another entrepreneur, Grant Cardone, and I think Ty Lopez. They were Grant Cardone was saying Ty Lopez, as far as they both said, if you don't have like a certain percentage, like when you post something, maybe a critic, you're not really getting yourself out there. I'm paraphrasing all this. You're not really getting yourself out there, or you're not really have that big of a, I don't think it was having a big of a following. The thing is, you need to get more. You need to have some critics though, as far as the value that you share, because that's what happens. That the bigger you get, the bigger the following, you're going to have some critics. So be it. I remember a few years ago, Eric Warren, the owner of Network Marketing Pro, was talking about. I think he had his book open up. His book release, GoPro. And I think somebody at Amazon had given him like a one bad review. And he said, for whatever reason, I think he had like 400, 500, it's more now, positive, good reviews. And it's that one bad review, which is really bugging him. But again, that's what happens when you continue to have that big of a following. Going back to what Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone said, that's to be expected when you have a big following. I think he said like maybe 5%, 3% of somebody's going to be a critic. But I mean, that means you're moving. That's another thing too. That's the key thing to keep in mind. You're moving if you have those type of like quote unquote haters. You see what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. So even though I've mentioned out these numbers, it's again something to really take heed in, because again, it's something just to be a part, to be in, because we're in, like I keep on saying, we're in the information age. And it's time just to take advantage of the fact that we're in information age, other than this being ignorant to the fact and saying, no, I'm going to do it this my own way, other than this leveraging your time. Because, I mean, there's still ways to do so. If she hops on, I don't know if she will be able to. Patricia's good at doing a campaign on one of her fan pages / business pages here on Facebook, as far as, really targeting getting her target market as far as whatever she's promoting. And that's another thing too. You can do so many different. You can have so many different campaigns. Seeing this in the Instagram, YouTube has one as well. Just mention Facebook. So again, there are ways to get yourself out there. And then another thing is too, you can start groups as well. As long as you continue to give that value. Now, this is the wrong way would be, like you see a lot of people that get started, especially in network marketing in general, start spamming the links. Join me, buy this, and it turns people off. Now, saying that, the same thing can happen as well if you're on the traditional business, as far as like, hey, we got this sale going on, or you're going to turn people off that way in social media. Doesn't matter what platform it is. You're just going to go into, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. The list goes on. You're going to turn people off that way, but you can continue to give that value. Or also, too, another good thing, you get the benefits of what you have, what your product is. Now, also, too, if you're in a home-based business profession, now that's the benefit of social media. As far as how big of a role it can play in business. Now, let me continue on here too as well. As far as these statistics, 73% of salespeople using social selling as part of their sales process outperformed their peers and exceeded quota 23% more often. Really, pretty much what this means as far as pretty much using social media just to get in contact with people, because you got, like I just keep on saying, you have more resources, you have more people to talk to. I know this here the last few months, I've been able to literally talk with people throughout the world. And it's, not even talking about whatever that is that I'm a part of. Just saying, hey, how's it going? Just building that rapport. But, the reason why I say this, because it adds on to that percentage. As far as I said, 73% of salespeople using social selling as their sales process outperform their peers and exceeded quota 23% more often. And like I said, once you're doing stuff like that, since you get out more value, that happens. This build rapport, get to know somebody. Period. Like anytime I get a friend request here on Facebook, I don't add them right away, especially if it's somebody I don't know. I just go in this, just say, hey, I send them like a quick video message, just say I really do appreciate the friend request. And so also too, just let me know you've been getting value for what was shared here as well, because if you do the same thing after watching this, I do the same thing as far as like, hey, unless I've known you for a while, of course I'm going to accept right away. But at the same time, I'm just going to go into contact with you. I'll get in contact with you if you send me a friend request. I'll just be like, appreciate the friend request. I'll look through your wall to see if there's something I like to, or just say something that I just really do appreciate about you. So we love connecting with new people on here. I really do. I'm connecting with people in the Philippines, different parts of Africa, people in Europe, and other Asian countries as well, South America as well. So, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to connect with people throughout the world on here. Now, here's another thing as far as, social media and why it matters to salespeople. 8 times more engagement on employee posts than company accounts. That is true. That is true, especially if you're in a particular company, if you're working for somebody. It's funny, some people will be quick to talk about a negative aspect. But at the same time, I've seen this a lot too. And I know you can probably attest to this if you're watching, that let's say there's a job opening in that company and somebody's a part of that company, they'll be like, hey, we have an opening, we're looking for, can you work these hours? It starts off with this. I've seen that here the last couple of years as well. As far as, people say, I work in a warehouse, and I've had people that, hey, we'll open it up, get in contact with me, talk about supervisors that use the platform for that aspect. So yeah, I agree with that statistic as far as 8 times more engagement on the employee post than a company account. That is true. Another thing, 82% of prospects can be reached via social media. I mentioned that in the home-based business profession. I just mentioned that as well. I don't pretty much beat the dead horse, because that also is a true statement, because people do engage with people, like I just said earlier, that they know, like, and trust. And also, too, if this is maybe somebody who might be a potential buyer or whatever, then, of course, they're going to go and connect with you, especially, like I said, for something of value that you're sharing. Now, this goes back to you promote something if you're an entrepreneur as well. But at the same time, yes, people will want to connect with you. And like I said, that percentage is pretty good. And remember what I said earlier, it's funny that when I first got into the home-based business profession, I had a leader in my company at the time that said, you can't build this business online. And here's a statistic that says 82% of prospects can be reached via social media. So it's kind of funny. Times have changed even in 7 years in this new century. It's not something. 54% of social salespeople have tracked their social selling back to at least one closed deal. Going back to, again, if you're building that rapport, if you're giving out that value, that can happen. I don't know how many times, too, the company I was recently with, A lot of people connected with people literally throughout the country, throughout the world. Since I'm here in the United States, and because somebody may be giving that value, they follow them. And I don't know how many success stories I heard, how many testimonies I heard. It's like, you know what? I was following what you're doing. You give us so much value. I was like, all right, what is it that you're doing? And this, like I said, there's so many different success stories, great testimonies from that. And again, that I'm just, just being honest with you, that is also true. Even if, say, you're in a company, or let's say if you were in a company that was shut down, and you continue to just give that value, people are still going to want to follow you. So that's something to also keep in mind with as well. 40 times more likely to turn up in a LinkedIn search if your profile is fully completed. I don't know what exactly as far as having a profile completely completed in LinkedIn. I know I have a lot of stuff completed, but I still have a good following. Not like 1,000 people, not something like that, but I do have a bit of responsiveness. Because this means rapport again. You see what I'm saying? So to answer that, yes, that is true. That is true. That has happened, and that's just not so much on LinkedIn only. That's throughout any social media platform. I don't know how many times too in the last year and a half that we've mentioned as far as filling out your About Me section of Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. So just right there, when somebody goes to your profile, because people are they're click happy on social media. Let's just be honest. We have a short attention span in today's times because of all the information, because of being information. But at the same time, there's somebody that wants to take the time looking at you, what it is that you do, whatever. They want to take a glance as far as what it is where you live. Maybe if you've gone to school, where maybe relationship status. And then let's say if you're a business owner, do you work somewhere? Yeah, people want to check that all out. And another thing too, since we're here on Facebook, is something I mentioned this as well. Go to your settings and have it on public. And some people are like, oh, I don't want everybody to see what I'm doing. But if you promote something, how can you let people on the outside know what it is that you're promoting? You see what I'm saying? You got to have that on public already so people can see what it is that you're doing, and even your posts, because you could have some great content, some great value. But then if you go to your settings, you'll be like, oh, shoot, my settings was on private, and only the people that could see your value were the people that you already were friends with. They weren't people that were outside of your friends list. So again, that's something a little trick though to keep in mind. Simple, but a lot of people seem to forget about that sometimes. And then there's some people like, oh, I don't want to have new friends. Well, you're missing the point. You see what I'm saying? You're missing the point. So this again, comment below if you've been getting value from some of these statistics that we're sharing. Because again, even though this might sound like kind of obvious to some people, if you promote anything online, this is really, really important, and these statistics do not lie. Even if other surveys would say different otherwise about these numbers, the thing is that I can almost bet you that it would be kind of close as far as where everything is. Like again, I'll go back to as far as people want to research something before contacting a company or maybe even contacting a business owner, 60 to 80%. 92% of people delete emails or voicemails from people they don't know. Well, for this common sense, that's like if I were to, unless I knew you, if I were to just call you out of the blue and be like, hey, have you checked out this movie? And you don't know me from Adam. Of course, you're going to be like, hey, you're going to hang up on me. You see what I'm saying? 53% of buyers followed this social discussions about vendors they are considering. You can see this with some people that want to go check out reviews for a movie. And then, again, people would use social media as far as, to check out the reviews and the comments people make. Now, at the same time, like I mentioned to you earlier, and something Napoleon Hill has also suggested many times in his books, do your own research. So you can make so you can take a really educated, so you can make an own educated a guess really on that, other than this going on, taking a bunch of opinions and this going about it. You know what I'm saying? Just taking an opinion and just running with it. So there's something just, again, keep in mind with. And then 90% of these 500 Fortune companies use a major social media platform. They got to, because people are not watching commercials. People are not literally listening to the commercials on the radio these days. Think about it. And those big time companies are wasting millions of dollars on those ads. You got to go to social media, because that's going to reach these young generations these days. I think Generation Y or Z or millennials. That's going to reach. This is going to reach these generations. I mean, these different groups of people. Again, 77% of the buyers are more likely to buy from a company the CEO uses social media. Not saying you have to use this as your main market, as I mentioned to you earlier, but yeah, it's pretty obvious. Again, just like I said, this pretty much reviewed. 82% prospects can be reached via social media. That is true, especially if you can get in contact with people throughout the world, which is also cool. 8 times more likely engagement on an employee post than a company account. That is very true. You don't believe that? If you work somewhere, talk negative about that. See how the response are on that post. You see what I'm saying? 54% of social salespeople have tracked their social selling back to at least one closed deal. And again, that comes about because of building rapport, giving out value in social media. 73% of salespeople using social selling as part of their sales process outperformed their peers and exceeded quota 23% more often. Again, because of what? Give out value. And the last point, like I said, all this is a review of 40 times more likely to turn up in a LinkedIn search if your profile is fully completed. And again, not just LinkedIn only, but that's in all your social media platforms. Just have like the basic information as far as what you do, maybe where you live. You don't have to maybe put that, but this is so people just get a chance to know about you. That's what it comes down to, point blank. So again, like I said, just wanted to let you know about these statistics, because it's really staggering. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to be a part of this, especially in this information age? Again, like I said earlier, to help leverage your time, more so, not so much this going about just talk about whatever the news has to say, or whatever anything negative on the news, but whatever that news you promote, and also giving out value. Just continue to give out value, and also if you do promote something, giving out the benefits, which is also giving out value of what it is that you promote. So I just wanted to leave you with that. Again, comment below if you got value for what has been shared here. Thought would be joined here, but that's all right. That's all right. If anything, we will be back here same time, same place next week. Again, that'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So until then, we will see you then. Till then, have a good weekend.